David Menzies for Rebel News here in Richmond Hill, Ontario. Well, you know, folks, we have a kind of an interesting dynamic when it comes to the media these days. A lot of people out there are abandoning the mainstream media because they look at the bias, the inherent bias of so many media organizations. And secondly, I sense some anger out there by the amount of tax dollars going to media organizations. CBC gets $1.5 billion a year. The Trudeau Liberals announced last year there would be a $595 million bailout to print media here in Canada. But here in Richmond Hill, the opposite has happened. The local and the one and only newspaper here has been cut off from the government teat, as it will. I'm with Carmine Perrelli. He is the deputy mayor here in Richmond Hill. And Carmine, for years, perhaps decades, the Richmond Hill Liberal has received an advertising contract from the city in the neighborhood of more than $160,000 per year. And recently, it was decided that was going to end. What was the reason for pulling the town's advertisements from the Liberal in the first place?
Well, thank you, David. Actually, I moved this motion back, I think, during my term between 2010 and 2014. So around 2011, 2012, I realized that, you know, things were changing in media. We were going to this digital thing, this new thing called internet.
Yes.
and you know, people weren't reading the paper as much as they used to. And I figured, well, you know, 99% of the population has internet access. They can come to the city's website. They can get all of the information. They can contact us anytime they want. And since then, certain members of council have been pushing to cancel that advertising because it's a waste of tax dollars. There used to be a time when they printed 3 editions a week.
That's right.
I think it was Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday.
Correct.
And I guess some people were reading it back in the day, 40, 50 years ago. And every little bit in a while, they changed it. And then they went down to 2 editions. That's and right. Now 1 edition. And now it's not even an edition. It's a flyer delivery service. Right. The newspaper just wrapped around all the discount flyers, right, in a bag and thrown, not even on your driveway now, they just throw it on the street and on the sidewalk.
And Carmine, I know that, you know, the position you've taken that this was an act of fiscal responsibility in terms of saving taxpayer dollars, a 6-figure sum, but
it's not about saving them money. It's about not wasting money. Okay. It was a waste of money. Okay. Whether it was $160,000 or $160, we don't take money and throw it away. You would never do that. I saw on a Family Feud the other day, what was the lowest amount of money you would stop and pick up? And I said $5. And other people said $1. The number one answer was a penny. People would actually stop and pick up a penny. And we don't even have pennies anymore. That's right. So it's not that, you know, we didn't want to spend their tax dollars. It was a waste of money.
In the big picture, as I said in the preamble, we have $1.5 billion of taxpayer dollars going to the CBC. We have that $595 million bailout. This is, of course, on the federal level, but a taxpayer dollar is a taxpayer dollar. What is your opinion in terms of government of any level getting into the business of subsidizing media?
I think it's shameful. They should stay out of that. I mean, to me, it's obvious. You give money to the media, and you expect them to treat you a certain way. So that's not right. They're supposed to be completely independent. There are very few reporters nowadays, David, that are completely independent and unbiased.
I've reached out to Liberal. I went to their office actually earlier today. Once again, nobody would come on camera. It's very odd. Their reporters seem fine at dishing it out and asking hard questions of certain targets, but they don't like being the subject of interviews. What has the Liberal said to you now that they've lost this Plum advertising contract?
Well, like I said, even our Plum advertising contract, how sweet it was, it hasn't been a newspaper for a long time. What it's been is, like I said, a carrier of flyers. Yeah. That's all it's been. It's been a vehicle. So as long as they have their flyers, they'll probably transition into a flyer delivery company. And I think that'll be okay for them, and we won't lose those jobs. But in terms of reading old news, no, nobody's going to do that anymore.
Okay. Well, there you have it, folks. I mean, we live in a country, of course, where the Trudeau Liberals are subsidizing mainstream media to the tune of about $2 billion a year. Personally, I don't think that's the role of government, any level of government. And I think this is a good news story here in Little Richmond Hill, Ontario. One government has taken a stance to say, nope, we're cutting you off the public teat. You want to make money, go sell advertising, go sell subscriptions. Welcome to the real world. For Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Hey folks, have you heard the news? Rebel News is going on a cruise. Please go to rebelnewscruise.com, get all the details, and I hope to see you on board the ship in July as we head north to Alaska.